Yeah, I think the Big East, again, reestablished itself after, people had questions about the league because some of the traditional schools had left. I think last year was a year where the Big East reestablished itself as a power. And, we had 60% of our teams in the NCAA tournament. RPI-wise, we were in the top two the entire year. I mean, this is a big-time basketball league. There's great coaches, great teams. The momentum of the league is very good, and it's an honor to be a part of it. Well, it helps a lot, I think, from my standpoint, just to have some more familiarity with the league and the coaches in the league, and I think that can be a benefit for our young guys because as a staff we've been through it and we understand it better. And so we'll hopefully use that to our advantage. I think a lot has been made of the rule changes, and I think in today's day and age, there's more voices than ever. And for me, like one of the things that was out there is college basketball is really struggling. I don't subscribe to that theory. I think college basketball is a great game. It's a unique game, and we have to find ways to make sure we keep it unique and we don't make it like every other game. That being said, I think some of the rule changes are good. The 30-second shot clock. How much of a difference that will make, I think it's going to be minimal, to be quite frank with you. But again, I think we should always look at ways to improve the game. It seems like an obvious thing in college basketball when you talk about staffs. The assumption is that all staffs get along, enjoy working with one another, and have great synergy. The fact of the matter is, more times than not, that's not the case. And so one of the things that I've tried to do since I've been here is obviously we want to hire talented and capable people, but we want to hire people that complement one another and bring out the best in the guy to the right or to the left of them. And if you're going to ask your team to do that as 18 to 22-year-old kids, they better be modeling themselves after the grown men who are on your staff. And so I think one of the real strengths of our program is the fact that we have a talented staff that really gets along and pulls in the same direction. One of the things that can happen at the end of the season is you can have staff changes. And, first of all, Mark Phelps did a great job for us. When his decision to go to Arizona opened up an opportunity for us to add a new staff member. And the hiring of Stan Johnson, I think, has been a grand slam. Throughout college basketball, he's respected. Everybody that I talk to, from coaches, administrators, people in the grassroots, when you threw his name out there, everyone, to a man, had nothing but positive things to say. It also helped that he worked with Brett Nelson in the past, where one of the great things that we have going for us as a program is the chemistry on our staff. And Stan has fit right in with that. And we're fortunate to have him and his family here at Marquette. I think he'll be a tremendous ambassador for our program, and it's going to be a great addition. We want to play top-notch opponents in the pre-conference season that will give us a true indication of where we're at. I think kids also want to play on big stages, and so we'll try to schedule big pre-conference tournaments every year where we get to play against major college basketball teams. We'll try to also schedule some other games where we get to play against the best. Obviously, the series with Wisconsin is terrific. The Gavitt games now, which is a new partnership between us and the Big Ten, will allow us to play a high-level opponent. And so, our pre-conference schedule will be stacked, I think, year in and year out. We also have to balance that with what the roster makeup is. Sometimes with a younger team, you can bite off more than you can chew. And we want to be smart with that as well. One of the neat things for this year is we have a chance to have all three Ellensons together on one court. You have Wally and Henry, who are obviously going to be wearing Marquette uniforms, and you have Elwood, who's at Valley City State. And so that's going to be our exhibition game. And that's a very cool story. And it shows the uniqueness of the family they have, and to be able to play in that game is something very cool. I think one of the things that's exciting about the summer months is being able to have more time to reach out to the people who have made this program special, especially the former players. We're looking forward to the former player reunion before the athletics barbecue. Last year we got a great group of about 70 to 80 former players back. I think we're going to have another big group. It also allows me a chance to travel a little bit if there are events where there's going to be a lot of former players at, like Bo Ellis's golf tournament or different golf events. Even though I don't golf, it gives me a chance to touch the people that have made this place special, and that's been a priority and will continue to be. One of the things that makes Marquette special is that the former players genuinely care about the program, and we have guys come back all the time. I mean, this time of year, Steve Novak's basically an extension of our staff, and Junior Cadogan, and you never know who's going to walk through the door. Joe Chapman, those guys are around, and it's great to see them. It's great to have them want to still be a part of the program, and to see their pride in Marquette and their Marquette experience is motivating. This is a big recruiting class for us as a program, and we're very excited about the newcomers that we have. A couple of them already on campus, and Tracy Carter and Sakar, and a couple more we're waiting for as second session starts. But it's a group that, first and foremost, I think they're all great guys. I think they all have a real passion for the game. I think they're gym rats. And they all have a skill set and talents where I believe all of them can be contributors as freshmen. One of the reasons I love Matt Held is because he's a guy I think is in a constant state of improvement. He's a tremendous worker. He's a very good competitor, and he's got great size and skill. He had an outstanding high school career. He was very well coached. I love his motor for a big guy, and I think his best basketball is ahead of him. Tracy Carter from Philly gives us some of that Philly toughness. He's a point guard, and he's played the position his whole life. I think he's got a really good personality for the position. He communicates. He's got great toughness and grit, and he's skilled. And so I think he's going to be a real key contributor for us this year. Hanif is I think, one of the most underrated newcomers in the country. From the first time I saw him a year ago, I loved his feel for the game. He's a guy who seems to make the right play at the right time, and he makes the guys around him better, and he can impact the game in a number of different ways. He can score, he can assist, he can rebound. He's a very well-rounded player and an easy guy to play with. Henry's got huge potential. Obviously, a lot has been made of his commitment to our program, as it should be. He's, in my opinion, as good a high school player as there is in the country. And I think the thing that makes him that is his drive. I think he's got unusual drive for a young person. He set the bar very high for himself, but he attacks it. And that, combined with his physical gifts and abilities and his skills, create a tremendous package. And obviously, he's going to be a real key to our season. Sakar is a guy that we got on late. We were actually in Minneapolis watching Henry play in a big high school tournament, and we went early and had a chance to watch Sakar play, and he had 30 points in the game and really exploded as a senior, and is coming into his own as a player. I think he's a rock-solid player. He understands how to play. He is a tough kid, he's a strong kid, and he's young. He's actually younger than most college freshmen. So I think he's going to be a terrific player here at Marquette. Andrew is a guy that we were able to pick up after 2 years of being at UNC Asheville. He was a tremendous player for them, one of the leading scorers in the country. He's got great toughness. He's got the ability to put the ball in the basket. Outstanding shooter. And he's a gym rat. And, I think if there's a common theme between the new guys that we've brought in, it's that if you're looking for them, you can usually find them in the gym.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Montecatini tournament in the northern Italy. We are in the Tuscany area after the first game of this European tour of the American team Marquette. They started out by coming out in a comeback win of 89-82, beating the Icelandic team Hálka. Dwayne Wilson had 28 points, and freshman sensation Henry Ellenson was noted for 24 points and 10 rebounds with a double-double. The same as Luke Fisher, the junior at the center position. He walked away with a double-double at 10 points and 10 rebounds. Right here, I'm ready to call this game against the Lithuanian team with Mike Broker. Here's the starting lineups. Mike, expectations going into tonight's game against a tough university team from Lithuania.
Yeah, Thomas, the focus of the conversations before the game and through practice yesterday in the film session is going to be on our defense. Steve was not very happy with it the other night. He thought offensively we played well. We played with great pace, but with good composure, worked inside out like they wanted to. But we didn't meet Haukar's level of physicality, and he was disappointed by that. So he's much, when we talk tonight, this is a process of learning. This tour is about learning. These games are about an opportunity to grow. And I asked him simply, where do you want to see that growth tonight? And he responded quite, quickly and succinctly, defense and physicality. Mike, we got to be better there because they beat us up a little bit the other night.
Dwayne Wilson, Sandy Wilson, Henry Ellenson, Tracy Carter, Luke Fisher. Should be Sandy Cohen starting at number 5. It's going to be the starting lineup for your Marquette Golden Eagles. Tonight's game is going up against Lithuanian team called BC for basketball club Atletas, LSU, and the LSU is Lithuanian Sports University. So somewhat the same as we represent with the American team here, a university team, but this team, they practice. Mike, they practice 3 times a day on Sundays. They practice 2 times a day every other day of the week. They play games. They're coming off test games against Egypt and Austria, Austrian national team, and they just lost by 10 points to the Austrian national team. They're also going to play Big East rivals Georgetown on this tour, but they're going to stick here in Montecatini. I don't know what to expect out of Marquette going up against these guys, but I know that Lithuanian basketball is a nation where basketball is number 1. And these guys, they know their basketball. They're going to be smart. They're going to be trick. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some bunny fakes. So see if we might have some Marquette guys flying.
Yeah, we don't know. Again, we didn't know a lot about the teams we played, and that's actually that's a good thing for us. And Steve has said it many times. This tour is about us. Mm-hmm. It's about our opportunity to improve and get better. We don't have to be overconsumed with personnel of the other team or sets that they run. We know they're going to be good basketball players, and we can see that just through the warm-ups here. But it really gives us an opportunity to focus on what do we need to do to get better. What are those 3 or 4 things we're looking to improve on a game-by-game basis, and is that happening? And we're going to have a great amount of data to take back after these 4 games, and a whole lot of video, and the coaches will get into that, and they'll take a look at it, and we'll use it to form what teaching looks like in the fall as we get into our season.
Just had a brief picture of Travis Diener, who obviously is now back working for Marquette where he used to play. But he also used to play here in Italy. He played for Sassari on one of the Italian islands. So he's happy to be back on the Italian soil, and hopefully tonight he'll be happy to get another win for Marquette on the side. We'll hear from him between first and second and the third and fourth quarter. Were you surprised, Mike, that we saw 28 points from Dwayne and 24 from Henry Wilson in the first game?
Henry Ellenson? No. I don't know what I expected, quite frankly. Obviously, only know Henry Ellenson through his high school basketball accolades, and there are many. But everybody knows there's a huge difference between high school basketball and elite level college basketball, and then you introduce the fact we were playing a professional team. So was I surprised? No, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. He certainly displayed all that you believe he's capable of doing, but at the same time, even within that, you could see the places where he needs to improve, and he certainly can improve. And then with Dwayne, I think we saw through all of last year how versatile Dwayne can be, whether it's getting to the rim, making a play, making a big shot. I think what the staff was most pleased to see is how he's grown as a leader for this team, and that's what he really needs to do. And if you think about that critical possession late in the fourth quarter where he's just scored 3, 4, 5 baskets in a row for us, I don't know exactly what it was, and
he got hot.
Here we come down, and he's got the ball, and he's got a good shot, and most guys would say, I got a good shot, and I'm on fire, and I'm going to take it. And what he does is he makes the extra pass, he gets a teammate a great shot, and Sandy Cohen knocks down a big 3 that moves us on to victory. So that type of growth in Dwayne is great to see, because we're going to need it as we get into the year.
Second game coming up on this Italian tour for Marquette. Tonight it's the Atletas LSU from Lithuania. It's one of the games from the BTI Basketball Travelers, who's taken 33 teams overseas to different countries, with 14 teams, including Marquette, going to Italy this summer. We'll get back to that in a while. In yellow, it's the Lithuanian side. In blue, it's your Marquette. Sandy Cohen going inside. Luke Fisher, he started out really, really well in that second game.
Yeah, inside out, Steve talked about it in the beginning. It's the same thing tonight. We got to work to our advantage. We got to work to our strengths. Good first move by Luke. Aggressive, one bounce right to the rim.
He's got some height advantage. Looks like there's a foot on the play here. Hustling for the ball. Loose ball situation, 3-on-2. And turns it over. But he's coming off that injury, Luke Fisher. But he said prior to this tour, prior to the games, that he was ready. He was 100% ready. He would see a good backdoor cut, and he showed us he was ready in that first game against Hawkeye.
Thought he played well. Coach Carrawell, who works with the bigs, still believes he could be a little bit more aggressive than he was. And so that first possession there is a great thing to see from Luke.
Ellenson inside, great pass. Dwayne Wilson hitting the freshman in the post, turning around with left hand, 2 points. Pick and roll situation. Lithuania known to really play a lot of 4-on-5. The big man for a long period of time on the national team. Sudrunas Ilgauskas actually started out his career at this BC Atletas team. And he doesn't always come up the court when they've been playing the fast break. Another lefty. This one coming up short for Ellenson.
I think what you want to watch tonight defensively is what does our ball screen defense look like? And we talked a little bit about that after the game and through a film session, and certainly in practice yesterday. We got to have 5 guys communicating, and Steve made the point of it can't be just the 2 guys guarding the ball screen. 5 guys got to guard the ball screen together, and that involves positioning and communication. 3
points from number 12, Nausidas. And as I mentioned earlier in the prior game with the Icelandic team, the Icelandics like to shoot 3-pointers. Lithuanians, they like to play the pick and roll up top, but they also really like to shoot that 3-pointer. It is their national sport. They do it really well. They know it. They know the basics of it. Here we see him again. Open 3 from the corner.
Good push. Push and transition. One pass, find the open man. We're slow on the rotation, and it cost us there.
Team captain Dengilis with the triple in the corner. Cohen coming up. Wilson trying to set it up. Back to Cohen. He got hot in the second half too. Here, good bounce pass and a foul. 2 shots for Fisher.
Good feed. Good pass by Sandy. Recognition. Luke was free run on the dive there. That's what Steve wants to see. And again, we talked to him a little bit before the game, Thomas, and he talked about. I asked him offensively, were you pleased? He said very pleased. I thought we got good stuff out of our offense. I was pleased with the shots we made. We missed a lot of threes, but he felt very good about the opportunity. So offensively, the guys are maybe a little bit further along where they are defensively. That's why the focus of what they've done over the last 3 days when they're not walking around Florence or seeing Michelangelo's David is we got to guard the post better. We got to be more physical on cuts. We got to make sure our feet are in the right place and we're in our gaps on the help side.
Coach Wojciechowski with the first substitution took out Tracy Carter and put in number 23. Jawan Johnson. known as JJ, 6'5", junior out of Memphis, Tennessee. Fisher missing the second. Score is 5-8. We're about an hour away from Florence, where the whole group is situated. He's camping in the paint in there. Looks like, they're arguing for goaltending, that the Marquette guys hit the backboard. I'm not sure they're going to give it to him.
Sandy got a see ball and man there. Just lost his guy and snuck behind him.
Oh, they gave it. 2 points for the goaltend. And then 1 extra shot. 10-5. Sarunas Binusis makes the bonus. And is noted for 3 points. Ellenson. Johnson posting up. Ellenson can't seem to get rid of it. Cohen misses it. And off to the races. 3-on-2. Sets it back up. Oh, they're slipping around in there. Samaitis. A lot under pressure. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Goes in. Goes around. Did not touch the rim. 24-second shot clock.
Good defensive possession there. Active, 5 guys playing the ball. That's the type of stuff Steve wants to see. He took away middle drive a couple times there. Forced that guy to go down. Forced him towards the baseline.
Battling for position down low. Fisher fighting Binusis. Comes up with a Lithuanian personal foul. Inbounds play on the baseline. Number 1, Dwayne Wilson. Looking to see cross screen. Fisher post up, get the good possession in there, but the triple counts. 3 points. Henry Ellenson, his 5th point of the match tonight.
Versatility is just simply amazing. I mean, if he has the ability to step out and make that shot on a regular basis, he's an absolute matchup nightmare for opposing coaches.
We got to remember that there's so many young guys on this team. Uh-oh! Nice bounce pass behind the back from Dwayne Wilson, hitting the trailer. Henry Wilson with his 7th point.
Great, and that's Wayne's versatility there. He's a 2 guard, he's a point guard, he's a guard, and he understands the game and he understands spacing and makes plays, and that's what you see there. There's great recognition there, great court awareness.
Personal foul on the floor, Dwayne Wilson for blocking. Get a Lithuanian substitution. Out goes number 8. In comes 11, Thomas Miskinis. Great start by Henry Ellenson. Keeping it simple. He had that one left hook where he was kind of, tried to go back to it. He made that first one. The second one came up short. Other than that, he has not, made a bad decision.
Yeah, I mean, freshman with a really, really high basketball IQ. There's a great example there with a great pass to Luke.
Oh! He follows it up with a slam. Tip dunk from Juwan Johnson. Fisher missing it, but Juwan sticks it back. 2 points, and we got to leave at 1 point. Turnover, 3-on-2, 3-on-1. Back to him. One more. This time Ellison. Timeout LSU. That's the way we like it, Mike.
Coach is happiest guy on the floor right now, but he's happy because of the way it is. We're active defensively. There's a great steal there by Sakar Annam being in the gap where he's supposed to be. Turns into an odd man break and an easy basket for us. I think when those are the things that Steve wants to see. He wants to see that type of commitment on the defensive end, knowing that if we do play 5 guys together and we play in a disciplined way, we've got a lot of talent out there, and we can get out in the open floor and we can really put some pressure on teams offensively.
Mm-hmm. I admit I have a hard time recognizing some of these Marquette guys today because I've only seen them walk around in soccer jerseys. I mean, after hitting Florence, they hit the streets and they've been buying soccer jerseys. We've been seeing Cavani, Totti, Balotelli, Messi as Argentina, Messi as Barcelona. I mean, all these guys they've been taking the European culture in.
Oh, they're enjoying it. And again, we're here at the games and people are watching online. And I wish we could show you, and we actually are documenting to show you at a later date here this fall. Just how much these guys are enjoying being over here. It really is a trip of a lifetime to work. so thankful for the opportunity.
But let me put this one out there. If you want to see it right now, you can follow Marquette on Twitter at Marquette MBB or hashtag MUBB. You can find us on Instagram, Marquette.basketball, or Facebook, Marquette Men's BB. So there's tons of ways you can find some pictures, and there's some pretty cool stuff in there. There's video, updates, and of course pictures from this great trip and the rest of the season for Marquette. Back to the action. Lithuania with the ball. Kickball sets the shot clock to 14. Lines up at the free throw line. Oh, watch out for the corner now. Usually you'll see a cross down the middle, and then one of the players on the left-hand side towards the bench is going to come out in this short corner. Here he comes.
Good job there. Great defense there.
They had it down. 5-second violation. Turnover. Once again, there's 3 turnovers in a row now. Good defensive stretch for the Marquette Golden Eagles. Oh.
Great recognition by Dwayne. Again, here's a great. This is his versatility and his growth. He leads us in scoring the other night. He's got 4 assists already because he's finding teammates, because he's understanding.
Johan owes him a Coca-Cola on that one. I mean, that was a great pass.
He was there.
That was a great
in a back
pass.
cut, you got to be ready.
Yeah. No doubt he was cutting to go out in the opposite corner, but he was open. Wilson saw him, but he wasn't really expecting it. Wilson takes a seat. Same with Luke Fisher. In comes the older Ellison, and back with number 2, the starting point guard, Tracy Carter. Let's see. Carter was great, especially in the first half against Hawkeye. Here he does it again. Gets his hand on the ball, working it, pushing it. This one taking it all the way to the hoop.
That's JJ's game. I mean, he's deadly in transition. Long, really strong, attacks the basket.
That's a weak foul. Tracy Carter gets called for the blocking. He actually had good position. He had the ball knocked out of Lithuania's hands.
Did a great job forcing the turnover. Very long, very active. Can be a very, very good perimeter defender for us. Talked to Brett Nelson a little bit about him before the game. He's got to be a little bit more disciplined. Can't just run up under a guy at this level. You could do that at the high school level. You run up under a guy at this level, you're going to get blown by for an easy basket.
Gaidis, number 3, he's going to have his problem. He's going to have his hands full bringing the ball up. Here, Carter. Juwan Johnson stepping out of bounds. Substitution. In comes number 14, Girius Kurtinaitis. And that might ring a bell to some of you basketball fans out there. Kurtinaitis, a well-known, especially in the European side, basketball name. His father, Rimantas Kurtinaitis, he played for the Lithuanian national team, and he actually won a gold medal back in 1988 on the Russian flag of Soviet Union.
Fountain of European basketball knowledge you are, Thomas.
They did good. They won the European Championship in '85, but the Olympics in '88, and I mean it was just a tremendous time. But that has carried on. I mean, we gotta know and you gotta realize this nation of Lithuania is only hold 2 million inhabitants, but basketball is number 1. But they've produced so much talent over the years.
Good rebound there by Matt Helt. Big, physical, strong kid. Thought he played really well in game 1. He gave us some really good minutes. Was aggressive at the basket. Did a good, pretty decent job defensively.
Three minutes left in the first quarter. Obviously playing 4 times 10 minutes. FIBA rules. 24-second shot clock. Gets 2 points for Sakir Anim.
This car's a great athlete. Actually, Steve mentioned to him. Reminded him yesterday he was the best athlete on our team, and you see make a play like that, those are the things you can do.
Again, pick and roll on the sideline. Ellenson gets the hand in there, off to the races. Tracy Carter, 2 points. Once again, they're having big time troubles getting it in, getting it up the court. Ellenson. Kurtinitis passing it on. That's got to be goaltend. Hits the backboard.
Good hustle by Wally Ellenson to get back into play. I have to think Steve's pretty happy with our activity defensively right now. The last 3 or 4 possessions of easy runouts are purely off of our defensive activity, and again being greatly positioned on the help side.
Cohen, Fisher, Ellenson checks in. So double Ellison in there, Cohen, Fisher, and Carter for your Marquette Golden Eagles. Looking to get in the post. He's got some size, he got some strength, and here he got 2 more points.
Great move by Luke.
Kurtinitis, the veteran on this team. They won't give him what I call an offensive foul. Wave off the 3-pointer. They could actually give him the 3-pointer had it been a defensive foul. Close to a turnover. Stays on Marquette hands. 1:55 to go of this first quarter. And then we'll hear from Travis Diener between the first and second quarter. Also a different, it's a different scoring approach this game. I mean, there's been a lot of runouts. Cohen a little bit lucky here. Back to Sandy. Over and back. I call Wally Ellison for stepping back, trying to save the ball.
Tough play there, and there's Henry trying to make the right play, but there's a situation where you're like, take it in the post, let the game slow down a little bit. He did it a number of times in game 1. Take a look, survey the defense, and then go make a play.
But they seemed more tense. They seemed more nervous in that first game. It was more scrappy that first half, or at least that first quarter. This one it's been way different.
Yeah, I think we were surprised a little bit, quite frankly, Thomas, with their physicality, their skill level. I don't think we were surprised by their skill level. Again, I'm not sure what we expected, but we felt like from a skill level standpoint, we had a decent barometer where they'd be. But Hauker was extremely physical. They knocked our guys back on their heels a little bit. And I think tonight, after the first couple of minutes, we responded to that, and we got a 7-point lead.
Corner 3, Kurtinitis. It looks so much like his dad when he's firing that. 2 points, easy 2 points. Taking it to the rim.
Knifing through the lane. JJ 2 steps from about 20 feet. Great finish.
Almost creating a turnover. Look at the bench over there.
That's great defense. Not letting that ball handler try to get back to the middle, and forcing him down to the sideline, and then the screeners man forcing him in that situation so JJ can use his length to create a little havoc.
Kurtinitis one more time in the corner. Touching it. Attacking. And trying. Ellenson, here we go. Rebound, pushing the ball. This is what we like to see. Personal foul out on the floor. But look at this big kid go.
That might be the best plan of attack when he gets in the ball in the open floor like that. It's just wrap him up 20 feet from the basket. I mean, his skill level really shines through when you see him coming up the floor like that. And that's something Steve's encouraging to do. If you get a ball off the rim and you feel like you've got the advantage, take it, push the guards up, and go make a play. We saw him do that a number of times the other night. And
it wasn't all out of coast-to-coast plays, like taking the rebound and going down, but he had 3-and-1 plays. I mean, he was doing it all.
Very skilled passer.
So he gets it back, and with the left hand.
Great team basketball. Guys, early on, just look, as you mentioned, a little bit more composed and under control.
One more rebound. Sandy Cohen attacks a little bit too early for me, but 2 points is 2 points, giving the Lithuanian a chance. One, and he didn't see it. Shots won't count, and we have a 28-17 lead after 10 here at the Montecatini Town.
Great last 7 minutes for us. A little slow start, slow on a couple of rotations, some made threes, gave up an offensive rebound. Last 7 minutes, thought the defensive activity has been great. And again, I think offensively we've been good thus far through the 5 quarters, really getting good shots, letting the offense create shots for us.
No one complaining by 28 points in the first quarter, that's for sure. And I'm excited to hear what Travis Diener, former Italian player and of course former Marquette player now, on the coaching staff.
Thanks, Thomas and Mike. I'm with assistant coach Travis Diener. You played here in Italy. More importantly, you were with Marquette back in your day. What's it like to be coaching with Marquette again and then playing or coaching when somewhere you played?
Well, it's an incredible opportunity for our players. And, playing 4 years in Italy, I have a little experience being here. But more importantly, I'm excited to be back at Marquette and, with our guys, just enjoying this experience and enjoying Italy and, all that comes with it.
You had a few days in Italy now. You got that first game under your belt, shook off some of the cobwebs and, the jet lag. Team seems to be really hustling, laying out for the ball. Talk about your defense in the first quarter.
Well, today is a lot better than it was in our first game. We were a little sluggish early in our first game. Today we had a lot more energy. We're active. We're talking more, just more energy, and I think that comes with, being adjusted to the time. No more jet lag, and our guys got a good practice in yesterday, which really helped.
Yes. Talk about a little bit about how you prepare for a team like this good Lithuanian team that you really don't know anything about.
Yeah, it's tough. We just know, Lithuanian basketball is physical, strong, tough. So our guys knew that coming into this game, it's going to be a war, and we just got to, we got to play physical and just match their toughness and play hard.
All right, thanks, Travis.
Thank you.
Mike and Thomas, back to you.
Thanks, Sean. Sean Christensen of Basketball Travelers down on the sideline here with Travis Diener. Obviously, he's back. He's back here. He was out on one of the islands, but he's been around. He knows the Italian. He's almost acted like a guide on on some of the tours around Rome and now Florence.
Yeah, he's a citizen here now, and obviously his wife Rose from Italy, and he's a special guy who's been around, and we're just glad that Steve found an opportunity for him to be on our staff. I'm not sure. In the time I've been here, that I can find a better player who best epitomizes what it is to be a Marquette Golden Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis he's as competitive today as he was when he was played the game for us.
Second quarter on the way. Starts out with a steal, Sandy Cohen in the passing lane. Fisher, big man, running the floor and gets rewarded 2 points.
That's the advantage Luke has over so many bigs. He really runs the floor well, and that's a major asset in his game. And we've seen a couple run out opportunities for him tonight already.
I have to say, I'm disappointed in the way that Lithuanian ballers are passing the ball around. This one, good pass, solid, 2 points and a foul. But the way that it's not that they've been under tremendous pressure on the ball. On the other hand, Marquette's been great in getting in the passing lanes. Arms out, just reading the balls perfectly. But I had expected more pass fakes from the Lithuanians. I expected the guard to turn a little bit more on the pick and rolls, not necessarily passing every time out. But let's see, it might change. This is their first game on the tour, even though I mentioned that they have been playing at home. Played the Austrian national team and lost by 10 points, which was some way of a good result for them. Europe is buzzing with basketball at the moment, as the rest of the world, as the European Championships is on the way.
Good move by Luke, strong move. Took his time. Again, we talked a little bit about it with Henry. Be patient. We're talking about a matter of a second. Let Henry dive. Henry dived. Defender came through with him, cleared the lane, and then Luke is 2 dribbles in for a left-hand layup.
Let's see.
Henry dove. Excuse me.
Shot missed. A new shot clock, but it resets at 14. Kurtanitis goes in and gets the 2 points. Makes the free throw.
A little slow on the catch there at Henry, and out of position. He's got to be careful there. He's going to find himself a lot this year, probably guarded by a smaller guy, because they're going to have to guard him on the perimeter. And so as much as an advantage that creates for him on the offensive end, it disadvantages him on the defensive end. So he's really got to be he and his teammates got to be communicating, and positioning is really important for him. And we see a perfect example there as to why.
Quick sup by Coach Vojo. His 1-2 points. Number 1, Dwayne Wilson, and number 2, Sakara Nim checks in. And they're going to be running the guard position. Hang time, a little bit out of balance. Tips it out. Kurtinitis brings it forward.
Just trying to anticipate contact there. Just take that ball strong, and if the contact's there, play through it.
Here we go. Didn't like the first look. Setting up again, ball screen. Another three, and he's fouled. 3 points and an extra shot. The veteran on this team, he's taking over now. He started on the bench, came in, and now he's pulling in within 6 points.
He's a heck of a player. He doesn't wow you with his. He's not very vertical, but
not
he's
a lot
skilled.
of these guys do.
He's skilled, but he reads it. He read that pick and roll well. They confused our guys a little bit in terms of what he wanted to do, and then we don't get over it. Dwayne doesn't get over it, and the help's not there underneath it, and he gets a wide open three, and he knocks it down.
I got some Marquette trivia for you. I don't know.
Brett Nelson explaining it to him right now.
We see you here. Former Florida Gator.
Great player, competitor, great coach. Going to be a great head coach someday.
Mike, which former Marquette basketball player has played the most games in the NBA, ABA, after their stints with, or in Milwaukee, of course, with Marquette? I mean, we got names like Dwayne Wade, Doc Rivers, Steve Novak, Jim Jones, and many others. Of course, 37 players total has.
Well, I've just looked at the. I would have said Dwayne Wade, but since I just looked at your script and cheated, I'll let you tell everybody.
No, we can let them.
But what it does remind you of is that people forget how long
a
career the individual actually had in the league and still has in the league as a coach. So the answer is?
It's more as Lucas.
Oh, I was thinking, I didn't read the answer.
Oh,
I thought it was Doc Rivers. Mo Lucas, very good. Oh, great Marquette Warrior.
Unfortunately, he passed away in 2010, but Maurice
Sadly.
Lucas, 1,021 games in the NBA.
I believe his nickname was the Enforcer. We need Jim McElvain for that. Maybe he's listening or watching online, and he can hit me up via Twitter.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter, hashtag MUBB. MUBB on Twitter. Maurice Lucas, the player with most games. If you're wondering, Dwayne Wade's got 781. Doc Rivers, 864. Ooh, stretching out. Double-handed statue of Liberty dunk. And it's a three-point game. The Marquette team is stalling right now.
Yeah, just poor execution there on that out-of-bounds play. And again, admittedly, we've not put a lot of that stuff in, so even just simply trying to get it in is...
He actually had the position underneath, but he didn't keep his defensive player on his back, Luke Fisher, on this one, so that ends up with a Tracy Carter turnover. Kurtinitis. In front of JJ. Oh, great pass. He's looking out for the three-pointer. Switches hands. Hits the post. Not ready for it. Turnover. Mojo calls Ellenson. School, its home base is in Kaunas, one of the bigger cities in Lithuania. Žalgiris is the best team in the league. And they're also out of Kaunas. That's the pro team everybody wants to play for. Here, 2 points. The captain, El Capitan,
Great ball
Sarunas
movement.
Wingels.
Great ball movement. They got it as their ball movement has worked. They've scored. Their issues offensively have come when they've got a little dribble happy. They moved by Henry there.
He likes that little left corner, working both with left and right hand this time. I mean, using his body, using his physique.
Just another example of his skill and versatility. He's got a smaller guy on him, and so he knows right where his advantage is, and he's going to work to it.
Lithuanian side came in to Italy last night. Had one practice. Oh, good extra pass and a fake. Tracy Carter goes in. A little long. And the shot. No shot or no basket. Sandy Cohen checks in. 5-point lead. Wally Ellison checks out. Curtinitis comes back in and looks like we're going to have a timeout.
Lithuanians done a good job getting back in the game. I thought our speed and our athleticism and our energy the last 7 minutes knocked them back on their heels, but that stayed composed and offensively. It's still not giving us a lot of great resistance on the offensive end, but they have offensively gotten back to what they were doing in the first couple minutes of the game, just sharing the ball, moving without it. Got back into it that way.
As I mentioned before, BC Atletas is a university school playing in the University League in Lithuania. They used to play in the second division of the National League, and they were actually pretty good, but then the level kind of dropped and they moved down to this league where they are. But a lot of big players, big name players have started out here, as I mentioned earlier, of course, Rimas Curtinitis, but also Big C, as we know him, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, the former Cleveland Cavaliers here, played his young days. Donutas Montejounas, who now plays with the Houston Rockets, or actually with the Grand Valley, he's with the D-League team, but he is in the NBA. He started here. But Big C is probably their biggest name stateside. 20 points, 20.3 points, 12.8 rebounds, 2.8 blocks per game in his season for Atletas, and his NBA stats. I mean, he's got almost 11,000 points through his career. And his number one, by the way, is retired by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's a pretty big name.
Big Z, sure.
Once again, this sling pass, and I'm happy that we're seeing it again here, because it's not a coincidence. It's not just something that they're doing once upon a time or sometimes again. They're doing it all the time. That's their game, to get the arm out straight around the defensive player who's coming at him, throwing it in the corner. It's all about angles.
No, and it's being where you're supposed to be offensively, Thomas. Again, that pass only works if you trust your teammate is going to be there. And that's why our communication, particularly on the help side, is critical. You can't assume as a defender you're out of the play because the ball's that you're on the weak side or the ball's in the top of the key and you're down in the corner. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. They're getting their baskets off of those type of actions.
Inbounds play. Tracy Carter steps right in, but way too long on the three-pointer from the corner. Ellenson reaching in, passing it around. Once again, it's out by the three. Fisher with the rebound. Off to the races. Let's see. Good little shake here, but serves it on a silver platter and gets it swatted out. See if they get more out of this inbounds play. Once again, it's Carter on the baseline. Back screen. Oh, they're taking their time. Puts the pressure on. This is going to be a turnover. Over the back.
Apparently we had some weather. We've had some bad weather come through the area, so I think our stream went down for a little bit. So we apologize to folks watching back at home. A pretty nasty storm. Looked like it was rolling in on the way over here.
Oh, breaking some angles there. I think it's Ellenson who went down. Missed the shot though. Curtinitis attacks. Back out on top. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Deep three. Take the front of the rim. Ellison with the rebound. And in comes the managers drying up the floor. Here we go.
I got away with one there.
But he also kind of faded. You know, he got the contact, but then he kind of jumped away. Unfortunately, we don't have a slow on this one, but that's not the right call.
Yeah, it's good rotation by Tracy. Got his hands on that.
That's the Lithuanian foot.
Can't see it from up here, but trust your judgment, Thomas. I know you're not a homer.
One of the referees today, one of them is Bongiorni, the other one is Blancana, and they just over talking to Coach Vojo about relaxing. Remember, he got a technical in that first game against Hawkeye. There we see bounce
Great
pass
read.
in.
That's a savvy play of a 29-year-old veteran right there.
Two shots. Thomas Miskinis. He can tie the game with success on both of these. That's the first one.
And not a great quarter defensively for us. Certainly they offensively put a lot more pressure on us with their ball movement.
That's tie ball game. 46, 1:46 to go in this first half. I think most importantly from the Lithuanian side, they controlled the basketball now. They're not turning it over every time down the floor. And it's not necessarily because it's bad defense on Marquette. Here you see Luke Fisher called for the travel. It's just a different way that they've set it up. They brought their bigger guys, especially Kurtnitis, out to run the floor and run the plays. Corner, the captain again, in and out. And let's see, Dwayne Wilson gets fouled. Ooh, you don't see this too often.
Somebody's got to jump up there. Hang on the rim, shake it.
The ball is stuck up between the backboard
There we go.
and the 24-second clock. We got it down. Cohen with the inbounds. There we go. Great pass, good cut, and great follow-up by Luke Fisher. Ellenson wants a foul, and I'm sure Coach Wojo agrees with him. But nonetheless, no call. He's getting excited over there now. Another three from the corner. Fisher with the rebound. Anim, 2 points. They tried to foul him. They tried to foul Wilson out in the open court. Didn't get away with it. And 2 points, Marquette. 4-point lead. 30 seconds to go. Kurtnitis. There we go again. Stopping the play.
Yeah, we've gotten everything we wanted in transition when we can get to it. It makes that, it makes the emphasis on the way we guard even more important and closing it out with a rebound. When we can get that thing off the rim and get running with it, we've got a bunch of guys that can make plays.
Only third team foul of Atletas, so a good foul to stop the fast break. 12 seconds left. Shot clock's off. Fisher. Oh, could be an illegal screen. Oh, they give it to the defense.
A little hold there on the ball screen. Number
Son
forehead.
Yeah, I promised. I hoped he was not going to be in the game, but I'll try it. Modestas Sararunias. I'm not saying that again. 2 points, Ellison.
Great read.
Right before the buzzer.
Again, great read by Dwayne Wilson.
First half comes to an end. (52-46). 6-point lead. Steve Wojo and the Marquette team goes to the locker room to talk things through.
Good half of basketball for us for the most part. Last 5 or 6 minutes there in the second quarter, we lost a little bit of our defensive intensity.
We have student athletes who are dreaming big dreams, and it is really critical that we provide them with the infrastructure and the resources that they need to realize those dreams. And I think if we can make that happen, it will be a very special time for Marquette athletics. What volleyball accomplished, what golf accomplished, what Wally accomplished. You know, I think that's the pinnacle of what we try to do from an athletic standpoint. Lacrosse didn't quite get there, but boy, they were knocking on the door. So, you know, I think those accomplishments are really unbelievable in a lot of ways, but it's also what we're trying to do with all of our programs. Obviously, with both of our basketball programs, we're entering into year 2 for both Steve and Carolyn, and I'm really excited about the cultures that they've established around those programs. I think both of them are very excited about both the kids they have returning and the new kids they have coming into the program. And I think fans who were excited about what they saw in year 1 are going to be even more so about what they see in year 2. We had 3 teams that received national recognition awards from the APR, 2 of whom had perfect scores. You know, that's a critical piece of the equation if we're going to do things the right way. I've been fortunate in my career to have been at schools that only want to do it the right way, and Marquette certainly measures up to that. The new Athletic Performance and Research Center, I think, is a huge step. I think it's a transformational opportunity for Marquette as a whole, but certainly for the varsity athletics program. And I think it speaks to the new leadership at Marquette. You know, Dr. Lovell, if there is a word that describes him, I think it's collaborative. And I think this building is just a great example of that. It engages the Milwaukee Bucks. It engages the academic side of the university. It engages the athletic side, both varsity and recreational. There are so many folks who have a stake in this, and I think that's just typical of how we want to do business moving forward. Student welfare obviously is a critical piece of what we need to make sure we do well, and I was lucky enough to inherit, I think, a program that is actually very strong and very diverse. We are engaged in a lot of areas. You know, we're rounding out our strength and conditioning staff. We are rounding out our training staff. I think those are areas that are really critical to make sure that student athletes have the right opportunities to be healthy. We need to make sure that we're providing them with all the services they need to make sure that they have not just an enjoyable and rewarding experience while they're here, but also a healthy one, both physically and mentally. The conference landscape has shifted dramatically, but I feel really good about where the Big East sits as we speak. The Fox television deal obviously is also a big piece of that, not just from a financial standpoint, but from an exposure standpoint. You know, I think that provides a great platform to help keep the Big East in the forefront of college basketball as we move forward. First of all, I think academically, as good as we are, I'd love to see us push forward and be even better. And whether it happens this year or it happens in 2 or 3 years, you know, I just want us to keep setting the bar a little bit higher academically. I'd love to see us continue to produce academic All-Americans. You know, the more the better, and we'll build some metrics around that actually. From an athletic standpoint, again, you know, I've been very clear that the pinnacle for us are chasing NCAA events. I think several of our teams have the opportunity to be in the hunt for those Big East championships in years, you know, in the coming year. How many programs out there can say they've been to 3 Final Fours? National championship. I mean, the history here is actually very deep. I don't take that lightly. You know, I am kind of humbled by the fact that I have an opportunity now to help influence the future and to help grow that tradition as we move forward. There is a phenomenal tradition around this brand, and to me, it's exciting to be a part of it, and it's also exciting to see how important it is to the Marquette family.
Check, check.
Okay, we're back, and let's go down on the floor with Mike Broker.
All right, thanks, Thomas. We're here with our head strength coach, Todd Smith, and this is quite an awkward interview, but we're going to do it anyway. Todd, we talked a little bit earlier about just keeping the guys hydrated. What's some of the things we've tried to do to adjust with the time change and since we've gotten over here.
You said the big one is basically number one. We got to keep them hydrated in this warm conditions. They're not used to playing like this. Last game, crazy hot. This one, not so much, but still.
Todd doesn't appreciate live TV apparently.
Yeah, sorry. The second thing is we don't want our guys to get stuck and stiff by being on buses and planes all the time. So we're trying to do more mobility stuff and more flexibility stuff just to keep them moving, keep them loose, keep them agile and able to move basically whenever they need to. Then the third thing is we're keeping track of all their workloads with our catapult system on their backs.
And that's new to our program this year, and people obviously at home can't see it, but talk to them a little bit about what are we hoping to get out of that system?
It's a GPS athlete tracking system. Basically, we don't have GPS in here, but there's accelerometers in the unit. It basically tells us how many times they stop, how many times they start, how many times they change directions, jump, land. It basically tracks their workload, so we understand how much they're doing on the court at all times. So anytime they're shooting around individually, playing open gym, working out individual with the coaches, playing in games, this is the biggest benefit for us playing these games early, is that we'll have information about what our players do to give the coaches during game situations before the season even starts.
All right, there you go, Thomas. He's not just a strength coach and a meathead. He's actually a researcher collecting some very valuable data for us. Back to you.
Thanks, Mike. And with me here, we have Sean Christensen of Basketball Travelers. Sean, 33 teams to over 14 countries, or a lot of 15 countries actually, 14 of them going here to Italy this summer. What kind of an industry, what kind of experience is Basketball Travelers trying to give to all these NCAA teams?
So it's a pretty unique experience. Each NCAA school is allowed a trip like this once every 4 years. So they kind of make it so each class can go through and have this type of experience. We've been doing tours for teams for nearly 30 years now. We have 14 teams, like you said, here in Italy. Of course, Big East rival Georgetown
yeah.
just arrived into Italy, and we'll do a similar tour from Rome to Florence, Venice, Como, and things like that. It gives them, for one, an opportunity for 10 extra practice days before their trip, which is huge to be able to get your team together. Especially with a team like Marquette, they got a lot of new guys, a lot of freshmen. That really gives them some symmetry before going into the season to see what it's like to play together. And then they get an amazing cultural and educational experience. They got Travis Dearney's played here professionally, so they get to learn through him. It's just a different avenue to experience the world through basketball.
But it's not only the European tours. I mean, these teams are taking it worldwide, and some of them also going to Bahamas, to St. Thomas. I mean, there's different events, different things going on all season. It must be a pretty fun job for you.
Yeah, fortunately, I got to spend about a week and a half with Marquette in 2011. They were at Basketball Travelers event, the Paradise Jam, down in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, where they were champions in 2011 of the Paradise Jam. So that was a great experience. That's under Coach Buzz back then. We hope to have them back. They bring a great amount of fans. They cheer loud, and they make it really fun for the teams down there.
And hopefully they'll make it fun another week here in Italy. They got 2 more games to go. But first of all, we got this second half underway. Let's get Mike Broker back. Sean Christensen, thank you very much. If you didn't get us, I don't know at what time you were out because of the thunderstorm that hit this middle part of Italy, make sure to reach out to us at Twitter. You can find Marquette MBB, men's basketball, Marquette MBB, or use the hashtag MUBB. Instagram, it's Marquette.basketball, and Facebook, Marquette Men's BB. Photos, video, highlights, team updates, and much more. Second half underway, and we got him back, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Broker made it all the way up the stairs after talking to that team physician. I mean, I was scared a little bit down there. He looks strong.
Todd's a big guy now. One of the great assets in our program. And he's more than just a strength coach for these guys. He's a teacher. He's a friend. He's a motivator. He's a parent at times. Gives everything he has every day and evolves. And we're talking about the catapult system. He wants to make sure we're on the cutting edge of what we're doing to help our guys improve.
Really interesting with the GPS system. Yeah.
Got a number change for Luke Fisher, 34 easy basket there. We saw the slipping the other night, Thomas. So one of the things we talked about were those guys' jerseys. If they do get too drenched with sweat, let's try to get them changed out to prevent any issues from the other night.
So he changed from 40 to 34.
And he'll wear 34 in the second half.
I talked to Henry Ellenson after that first game, his first game in the NCAA, or I should say with an NCAA team. He said he never, ever experienced anything like it sweating-wise.
Yeah, it was hot. I mean, we were sweating sitting there calling a game. I can't imagine how those guys were. Our coaching staff, I was talking to them after the game, they were drenched.
He tries an early three right in the offense.
A little quick there. Open shot, it's a good shot for him. A little quick, though. You'd like to see him trust the offense a little bit more, get it back in a more advantageous position.
Triple from the corner. We've seen it time and time again, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll make sure you'll see it again this game. That's what they do. Play the pick and roll up top and hit the open shots in the corner. Cohen tries to answer and does. 3 up one end, 3 up the other.
That's his game. Lineup change here in the second half with Coach Wojciechowski going with a little bit of a veteran, if you can call them veterans, with our guys on the perimeter, and Dwayne Wilson at the point.
Pass to the elbow, open 3. This one short. Cohen with the rebound.
Tough play. Want to get out and run, but you still got to be thoughtful about it. Take care of the ball. That was a hard connection there.
2 minutes played, second half. Fisher, Ellenson, Cohen, John Johnson, and of course Dwayne Wilson on the floor. One player go down.
Yeah, took an elbow to the
JJ
to the chin there. Lithuanians very good at initiating contact. That's a perfect situation there. JJ a little uncontrolled on the closeout, and Lithuanian player there used his arm to flail into him, caught him with an elbow right in the mouth.
I'm not saying they're playing dirty.
Oh, no.
No.
But you got to close out under
you.
control there, too.
I'm just saying that they're playing to whatever, whatever they get, that's what they're going to use.
Physicality is part of the game for both teams.
He's not going to catch him. And him. Draws the foul. So Runas Vangelis couldn't catch him, the veteran here.
Great example of his athleticism there. We talked about it a little earlier. He's certainly, without question, the best athlete on our team. Very long, athletic.
Played at De La Salle High School from Minneapolis.
Four straight titles in high school for his high school team, so he knows how to win. That's a hard thing to teach a kid. So when you can get kids like that in a program and make the court just don't know what you're doing, bring that winning mentality, win every day, as Steve talks about, it makes it easier for him to teach.
Alley-oop pass. I mean, he's coming down straight down the middle, and he's not really looking like he's got control, but he's under full control.
Yeah, you let that guard turn the corner and get in the lane, and it's hard to, and the advantage is there, and but you're big in a really tough spot.
Cohen, another 3. He did it the other game. He was not off in the first half, but he was way better in the second. Looks like the same here tonight.
Yeah, rhythm looks good, and obviously confidence is gone. And the same thing as the second half. But again, it's the guys trusting in Sandy, and that's important. That's important and part of his process of developing confidence is knowing that his teammates have that confidence in him.
Mm-hmm. Spin move, good rebound. Again, trying to stop the fast break. They do it. Vangelis with a foul.
Yeah, that's hard. We've got a clear advantage there.
Kurtenitis coming in. Foul number 3 on the captain, number 30, Vangelis. Dwayne Wilson on the run. He's caught at midcourt. He had a couple of guys in front of him. One of the important issues, not calling an intentional foul, is the clear path. If the defense is with him, if it's in front of him or there's guys in front of him, It's not going to be a clear path. Three on one. Oh, nice little pass here. Wally Ellenson coming up for the lefty. Southpaw slam here.
Great court awareness again. He's got the Olympic level high jumper running on the left side of the floor with him. It's a pretty good idea where the ball should go.
Trying to draw the offensive foul underneath. Referee points at the half circle down there, the no charge zone.
Good rotation by Sandy. A little bit higher.
Nice little in and out move here, creating some space. Luke Fisher in there. 2-on-3 becomes a 3-on-3. Again, no look pass, open three-pointer, and connects. Number 12 is Nocidas.
It's a great example again, Thomas. We talked about it at length in the last 10, 12 minutes. The pressure you can put on a team defensively if you're committed to making that ball move on the offensive end.
Nice follow-up by Fisher. 2 points. Saw Tracy Carter on the sideline getting ready to sub in. You've seen so many games, Mike. You like what you're seeing here? You like what you're seeing from this new look Marquette team these first two games, or first 1.5 game? I know it's early in the process.
Yeah, I think you certainly see the potential, and at the same time, you see the youth, and we knew that. I mean, that's why this trip is so valuable. The opportunity we have for our guys to continue to learn, and Steve and I were talking about it in the lobby. You want to win every game when you step on the floor because you're a competitor, but those aren't the metrics we're using to judge this trip. There's a social component to it. There's a team growth component. There's individual personal development and basketball development. So I love what I've seen. I think we've got a great group of kids. I think we've got a bunch of kids that Steve has recruited with a particular profile in mind. And the kids that were in our program last year, he's had the opportunity to coach for almost a year and a half now, and they understand the principles and the tenets of his program. So he's got a bunch of guys that have bought into the way he wants to run a program and what's important. And now it's just about teaching them and letting them grow. They're young kids, and you try to accelerate their growth the best you can, but you got to have realistic expectations for how that happens. And so in the short time, I'll tell you, I think they've truly enjoyed a once in a lifetime experience. And watching the first game and watching practice yesterday and seeing some things today, I think they've taken to heart some of the things he's talked about in terms of what he wants to see better from today that we didn't do the other night. And again, offensively, I think we're maybe a little further along than he expected. But I don't know if that's as a result of growth offensively would be a good question for him, or just I think defensively is not what these teams are known for. Physicality, yes, but gaps in rotations and communication, I don't think that's great.
Back to the action. Marquette with the ball. Wally Ellison trying in the corner. I think we get a loose ball foul underneath. Let's see, and then a technical for Steve Vojo. One shot and the ball for Lithuanian team. Back-to-back technicals now. Foul was called initially on Matt Helt for pushing in the back on the rebound. And he complained too much. He got a warning earlier. And this one, it was too much. Kurtanitis makes the free throw. It's a 4-point game, 66-62. Not that expensive of a technical foul. Now hopefully he's made his point. But Lithuania had the ball, so it was actually his only 1 point they gave away. But still,
I think he's a little more frustrated with our play the last few minutes defensively. We've not been what we were, and we took that big lead in the second quarter there, and probably a little spillover from that more than anything than that particular call.
2 points in the post by Binusis. Oh, nice little shake. Drawing the foul, 2 shots. throwing himself in there, just creating contact. And surely earning his trip to the line. Sakar Anim. Next 2 games coming up for your Marquette Golden Eagles is tomorrow, actually. Play Vicenza Select. Also a game you could follow on Fox and, of course, here, YouTube. Going to Go Marquette and find your link. It's tomorrow, Sunday, 8 o'clock local time. Should be, as I'm looking at it, 1 o'clock back home in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then Wednesday night, the 19th, last game of this tour is against Lugano of Switzerland. And that's 8 p.m. local time as well. Mike Broker and Thomas Builder on hand here at the Montecatini tournament. Well, we're watching a game that's been going up and down. I mean, you talk about basketball, you talk about waves, that it's, oh, look at that move. Big man, Ellenson. Oh yeah, taking it all the way, coast to coast. Between the legs at midcourt, sitting this Lithuanian down and just making them spectators of one of the greatest moves so far of this game. There's been some good dunks, some alley-oops, but when you see a guy this big making these kinds of moves, you gotta be like smiling just a little bit.
Not a whole lot for me to add there. This lineup's interesting for me. 5 guys never played a game for us on the floor, so let's see what we get out of it.
That's the charge.
Urgency.
Great defense. Good sacrifice by Wally. Got his feet set, hands up, nothing, and just read the play perfectly, drawing the charge.
Good couple possessions for that group right there. 3 vets coming back in.
Stream you're watching is produced by Global University Sports and Properties, a division underneath Basketball Travelers, and Basketball Travelers obviously with you doing this tour. But Marquette, I mean, front runners maybe on the court, but also on this, I mean, streaming these international games, I mean, it takes some commitment, some sacrifices, and Marquette, I mean, they've gone all in, Mike, on this tour.
Yeah, any people that follow our program know, how important it is to us, and you're going to take an opportunity to play 4 games like this in our program. We know how much our fans enjoy watching our program, so it was a pretty easy decision for us, so long as it could, technically it could be done.
Carter, I mean, he just don't stop. Here he goes in for the left-handed layup, 2 points. He was in there, he was out again, and finally he drops 2. Yeah, 70-64.
Great finish through contact.
Passing it over. Wilson. Carter on one side. Ellison trailing. Again, the left-handed scoop. 2 points. And he opens up an 8-point lead for Marquette. And I'm thinking Lithuania needs to talk this over.
Yeah, defender's got to come and engage that ball there. He keeps giving ground on Dwayne like that. He's got no chance.
And Laimonas Ingliskas, the coach of BC Atletas LSU, calls a timeout, wants to talk this over with 1 minute and 39 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Good few minutes there. Answered the bell after that timeout. Looks like Steve got into him a little bit about their effort on the defensive end. Rotations down there, and that last possession that led to that run out were really good. Got out the shooters a few times. And then ended the play with a defensive rebound, which is important. All that other stuff doesn't matter if you can't end the play with a defensive rebound. We do a good job rotating, good job communicating, end the play with a defensive rebound, and then we get into a point where we really have an advantage, and Dwayne just takes it and runs it down a guy's throat.
Mike, it is the wave thing again. I mean, it's like it's building, and when you get some good rolls, I mean, you get some good plays, you're on a roll, and it kind of builds the momentum up. And I like what I'm seeing from Marquette. It's just, the down periods. You would like to see it be more solid, be more, we're not taking a chance.
Yeah, and so now you're going to look. Now you're looking again, and as the staff's watching, what are we going to do this last 139? Are we going to let that lead come back from 8 to 4? Or are we going to take it from 8 to 12? And those are the things you're trying to get guys to understand in an experience like this. We put 2 good possessions together. Let's put 2 or 3 more good defensive possessions together to end this quarter and see if we can take the lead from 8 to 12. So this is a big possession here.
Cohen, sophomore. We got a redshirt sophomore in Wilson. Here we go with the steal. Wilson to Carter. 2 more for him. 6 points here late in third. And a 10-point lead. And they're going back to it now. What they had success with in the second quarter, giving it to Kurtenitis, make him make the decisions. Oh, that could have been a travel. Thank God they didn't score on that one. That was one ugly offense. Great pass, but just also tremendously, great catch and shoot motion. He saw the ball in the air. He was thinking, I'm shooting this. He caught it, had his feet set, and just swished it. Deep in the corner. Personal foul. This is what he does. I mean, he throws himself at you. He goes a little bit forward. He gets them. He knows.
Smart player. Can't get a good job scrambling. But we're getting, recovering to our spots and communicating and trying to help. It's hard when they move that ball the way they do, and just savvy player makes a good play.
3 shots. He was fouled behind the 3-point line, so it's a 3-shot foul. Connects on the first. It was a 12-point lead. We got him up to 12 coming out of that timeout, up by 8.
Yeah, 2 good defensive possessions.
Got 30 seconds to go. And this up and down race, these waves I've been keep talking about. I'm excited to hear what Travis Diener will say about this. The play. Here we see another dunk by Luke Fisher. He had one against Hawker, and here he goes again. Kurtenitis checked the clock, looking up. 8 seconds to go of the third quarter. Ellenson out on him. Behind the back. Oh, Cohen just touches it. 2 seconds to go. Lithuania still got the chance of the last shot of the third quarter. Cohen pulled his hand back right away. There we go. 2 seconds. Triple off the board. No.
Good last 139 there for us, Thomas. We got 2 stops. Did a really good job guarding against a team that moves the ball incredibly well, and savvy player makes a good offensive play on a scrambling defender, and then you come down 3 really good offensive possessions like we talked about. So I think when you grade that last 139 out for a young group like that, they took that lead from 8 to 13. That's big.
The 2 minutes really before that, too, up to the timeout was good, too.
There's a learning point in there.
Mm-hmm. We're getting ready to go down to the floor. Sean Christensen of Basketball Travelers is with Travis Diener.
Back with Coach Travis Diener again. Hey, we had a little bit of a big run of defense in the first half, slowed down. LSU came back and tied it, and defense seemed to struggle just a little bit at the beginning of third, but picking it back up. Talk about what they're doing to pick that back up.
Well, I think we showed a little bit of immaturity in our youth. We've gotten double-figure leads twice, and then we got complacent and just worried about scoring the basketball instead of playing defense. But we did finish the third quarter really strong defensively, and that led to a lot of easy baskets. So we got to show some more maturity. We're a very young team, and now we got to put the foot to the gas and finish this game off the right way.
What's it like to guard all this ball movement that they got going on? It's constantly moving. What do you got to do to keep up with that?
Yeah, it's very hard. They're a great team at ball screen offense, moving the ball, and they can really shoot the ball. So we won't play against too many teams that can shoot the ball, move the ball like these guys do.
Talk about the play of the big guys. We got somebody on Twitter saying Henry Ellenson's the future of Marquette basketball. Talk about his play early on.
Well, Henry's a special talent. He's a once-in-a-lifetime type player, and he's showing that today. He showed that in the first game, and he's just got to continue to keep developing, and he'll become a great player in time.
All right, Coach. Thanks. Back to you, Mike and Tom, for the fourth quarter.
Thanks, Sean. Travis, with some praise for a young guy. I mean, we've been praising him, and I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to be watching his games is going to be praising Henry Ellison. But I'm even more impressed. It's 7 freshmen, 7 freshmen on this team. So there are going to be some ups and downs.
Yeah, a lot of guys that haven't played games, and he's right. There's a little bit of immaturity in there, and that's the beauty of a trip like this is you have an opportunity for him to grow through that immaturity and it doesn't cost you anything. And then the second to that is he's right. You aren't going to see a lot of teams like this in the States. That ball screen offense is, very pro-style offense, and their ball movement, their trust offensively is incredible. And so to play a team like this without an opportunity to prepare for the way they play, you've got to trust on the habits you develop. And again, that's what Steve's talking about. We got to build great habits through this trip, through our work in the fall, so that we can trust and rely on those habits as we get into the season. 2
shots, missing the first one. Mike, we've seen a lot of Marquette jerseys around here, Marquette polos, Marquette T-shirts, but there's also, there's former alum, there's donators, there's everybody on this tour.
We never struggle to travel regardless of where we go, whether it's New York or Florence, Italy. We had an opportunity to talk to Joe Tomasidi, who's an alum from 1968, who's seeing his first game live, Thomas, since 1985. How awesome is that? He's been emailing Bill Scholl and I for about a month asking if there's anything we can do. Can we help? He owns a winery. Do we want to come for a visit? And we're just excited that he has an opportunity to see this team play for the first time in 30 years. So that was really neat to have an opportunity to spend him. But it speaks to the power and support of our people. And Steve's talked about it all the time. And it really is a special place, and special place because of people. And I think you see that. You see that these games on Wednesday and here, and the last 2 ones we'll play.
After this, the trip will move on. We're going to stay in Treviso, play up at Vicenza. Also a trip, more touristy trip to Venice. Probably going to sail a little bit around the streets of Venice.
Looking forward to that.
So-called. And then we're going to go to Como, where we're going to play that last game in Lugano, Switzerland, before heading back to Milwaukee. 80 points on the board, 66 from the Lithuanian side. Gives us a pretty comfortable lead, but I will say, and I'll say this now, make sure you don't count them out, because these guys are going to keep firing.
Too easy there. JJ got to be in better position defensively. Just slow to the ball, and one dribble and the guy's behind him.
Kurtnitis, that's way off. Ellenson with the rebounds. Dwayne Wilson. Sandy Cohen is behind the 3-point line. Defensive foul, 2 shots.
Great attack by Dwayne. Put the defender in a compromised position, just go right to his body.
I'm not sure who the other one was, but I think Cohen was too close to the baseline.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson running in on the wing there.
So the angle, there was one defender who could guard both sides. I think it's the right decision by Wilson to take it to the hoop. Especially now when we saw the result, him drawing the foul. Kurtnitis takes a break. In comes Vangelis. Vangelis had 3 fouls already. See if they can turn it up a little bit defensively now. Marquette trying to get out again in the passing lanes. And don't have Kurtnitis in there to run the show. Wilson, Fisher coming over, contesting, rebounding. Fisher again, rebound one end, rebound the other end, and 2 points.
Foul by Luke staying with the play.
Ooh, turnover. Good defense, no doubt about it, but this is a blunder offensively. We see him, number 8, Sarunas Benuchis, raising his hand and saying, I'm sorry. Bad pass, bad decision by him. We're getting close to a 20-point lead here. Fisher bounce passing it, and a dunk. Two-handed dunk by Henry Ellenson, throwing it down. Big man's working together here. Great 1-2 punch, a bounce pass from the free throw line, and then no doubt about it, Ellenson throwing it down. Switching on the screen, Fisher out now, guarding the 3-point shooter. Vangelis trying to take advantage of it. In comes flying, number 12, Nausidis, and he knocks it out. Marquette ball. Bojo out with the high fives. Cohen and Ellison sitting down. They'll be happy with this win. No doubt about it. Been some ups and downs. but they answered the bell, answered the call. 2 points here off the spin move by Juwan Johnson.
I think Steve's going to be most interested now in what is our defense going to look like this last 7.5 minutes.
Trying, I think, to pass it through the legs. Oh, he can't stand up. 3 seconds left. Vangelis under a lot of pressure, but makes it
tough
a
shot.
long two.
That's good defense by Sakarian. Just tough shot.
Long two by Vangelis at the buzzer. Wally Ellison. Triple. That's a nice shot by Dwayne Wilson. Little shot fake, a little jab step first. Defense gets set. I mean, the zone is back at his position. He just makes a great shot.
Oh, that guy's slipping around again.
New lob. We saw that lob earlier, working from the free throw line. This time from the 3-point line. Foul.
So tough to defend. Turn the corner there, and you put that big Luke Fisher in a position he doesn't want to be in, nor is he capable of being in. Get a little bit better job controlling the ball handler there.
Matt Helt, the 6'10" center from Neenah, Wisconsin. We saw him in that presentation prior to the game. And we heard Coach Vojo talk about all the freshman class coming in. He checks in with number 12. He's in there with Anim Wilson, Juwan Johnson, and of course Wally Ellison. This gym used to host one of the pro teams in Italy. It's been up to the best league, but it's also had its time in the second. But due to financial reasons, some years ago it folded, and now they just have this gym sitting around here. Not a bad venue compared to what we played at the last game.
Yeah, we went from a gym to an arena, so it's probably only about 85 degrees in here now.
2 points on the follow-up. No one really boxing out. We need Matt Helt to put a body on him.
A little ball watching there.
Ooh, he goes for it. Trying with the teardrop, and it falls. 2 points. 21-point lead, 92-71.
Get a stop here. A couple possessions in a row of giving up easy baskets.
Defensive foul called on 22. Wally Ellison had his chest out there. Team foul number 4. Lithuanian noted for 2 team fouls. First personal foul, Wally Ellison. They attack him right away again. No luck. Ooh. I call him the engine. He's been...
yeah, your nickname is sticking apparently back in the States. A little bit sloppy here offensively.
He had a little bit of a bigger role, Tracy Carter, in that first game, especially in the first half. He was really, really pushing it, both on offense and defense. But I think the game has come more natural to Marquette today. I mean, it's coming from all angles. It's been good inside. It's been good outside. Only had that little struggle where he couldn't get stops in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think, again, we talked about earlier, Steve's been pleased with how we've played offensively. We've been disciplined. We've trusted. We've made the extra pass. We've run at the times in the right way, and we've used, waited and used our offense, worked through the post to get stuff. So I don't think there's anything there, but really good things to see. And again, it's defensively. Even this last 5 minutes, we're up 19. I don't want to say the game's out of reach, but it certainly feels that way. But look, how are we going to guard these 5 minutes? Are we going to be disciplined? Are we going to block out and close out possessions with rebounds?
Triple and try from Dwayne Wilson. Two guys looking to come in. JJ and Cohen.
Good job there by Matt Helt sealing his guy off.
Carter draws the foul. Third team foul, no shots. Gives an opportunity for substitutions, both teams. Wilson takes a seat. Same with Wally Ellenson. Little brother, but big man Ellenson checking in. Sakara Anin takes a seat. It's going to help Helt a little bit underneath on the rebounding side. Forced
Like
in
that
there.
idea. Empty it out, get everybody above the free throw line, let Henry use his length to throw it up there and see if we can get an easy one.
Henry's calling for a foul. Miskinnis looked like he was grabbing him a little bit. Got the ball back. Carter, jump shot, no good. Oh, looking to try and cut into the passing lane. Open three, Vingillis giving it up. 2 points inside.
Yep.
Timeout, Vojo. Didn't like it. He's still up 19, 92 to 73. Oh, now it's 75, 17-point lead. 4:21 to go.
Yeah, I would say last 3 minutes of defensive intensity is certainly not what he would like to see. Slow on rotations, slow on closeouts. Doesn't sound like, at least from where we are, they're communicating the way they were. And during the stretches of time when they were creating great pressure, putting great pressure on the Lithuanian team and creating turnovers and creating transition opportunities and easy baskets for us.
Mike, the first game of the season is also, of course, an exhibition game. It's going to be against Valley City State on November 9th. It's some ways down the road, but still, I mean, you got these 3 games or 4 games under your belt. You got some extra practices. How much is this going to mean getting ready for that game?
Well, it just gives our staff an enormous amount of data and video to digest and really focus the work in September and October on where do we need to get better. I think that to have an ability to play quality competition, to be put in stressed positions from a purely basketball standpoint, so that you can see how your team reacts and really identify how we can improve or how we have to react to that reaction or where growth has to happen. I think that's invaluable. I mean, I think if you could take a tour every year, teams would take a tour every year, because you're going to get to find out a whole lot about your basketball team.
Find information about the tickets for that first game on November 9th against Valley City State at the website gomarquette.com. Oh, that's a foul, and that's a deuce.
Great recognition by Sandy Cohen there. Again, trusting the offense, understanding the advantages Henry's going to have as a result of the switch. The drop off there and basket.
Mike, I'm honestly impressed with the way he moves and with the way he draws contact. In the first game against Talca, it was more off the dribble. This time, it's more, the little bunny fake, gets him up, uses his. I mean, he's young.
Versatility in this game is.
He's doing good.
It's unique. You don't see a lot of guys at his size that move like that, 6'10", handle the ball like that, stretch your defense to 20 feet. He's going to create some offensive matchup problems for people.
I think those Hilts in there creating this extra shot, extra chance. Let's see. Ellison going to work. Fade away. Little baby hook. New rebound. Good job, Hilt. Couldn't hold on to it.
And that's what Matt can do. He's big, 6'10", 250 pounds. Be aggressive. Fly around the rim. Knock some bodies around and see if you can create second shot opportunities for us.
Talked about the tours, about the teams that are over here. One of the teams that are over here who are actually trailing Marquette is Big East rival Georgetown. Came in a little late, but hopefully they'll trail Marquette the rest of the season. But
very good team.
They'll play Hawkaw. They'll play these guys.
Really talented team. Different reason for their tour for them. Not a lot of youth, but I think they feel as though, and they're certainly one of the best 2 teams in our league, that maybe this could be a special season for them.
When you know the results of their game against this team, will that mean anything to you?
No, I don't think it means anything to you. Again, I think it's to try to, we had people back home try to ask us, what type of team in the Big East do you compare Hawkeye to? Well, there's no teams in the Big East like that. First of all, they're pros. But it's art, and the basketball is unique. And again, that's part of the beauty of it, because your team's going to get stressed in ways they wouldn't typically do. And so no, you can't get caught up in the scores, because ultimately that's not why you're here.
We got 2 more points from Ellenson on that little fadeaway. Makes the first. Gonna crack the 100 mark.
We may. I'd like to see us not let them crack the 80 mark in the next 3 minutes here.
Tracy.
Oh, that play there,
Ellenson, yeah, stuff it, baby. Bench goes wild. Henry Ellison flying in there and just stuffing it down.
That play there is almost unguardable. If Tracy's able to take the ball to the middle of the paint like that and have Henry trailing and just drop a handoff to him, and
I love seeing stuff like that.
There's not a whole lot you can do to guard that.
He had 24 points in the first game. He's got 29 points tonight.
Yeah, I thought I thought he was good in the first game. Don't get me wrong, but tonight he looked, maybe he's a little nervous in the first game, first few minutes.
I think he looked way better
everybody
tonight.
was like
so
that, really composed, and again, just 29 points on I don't know how many shots, because we don't have stats.
He has not missed a lot of shots.
Just let the offense come to him. That's a sign of a good player, and at his age, a young player to trust in his teammates in the offense. That's that way. That's
2 points.
That's a great sign.
No, they call him for travel. That's a shame. Sandy Cohen. He's kind of setting the expectations a little bit higher with 24 and 29 points.
I thought he's been really good defensively too, for the most part. He's really had to work guarding the smaller guy on the perimeter and then holding his own in the post, rebounding really well.
Good rebounds. Off to the races one more time. Flying in there, Juwan. 1-on-3, backs up wisely here. Oh, well, opens up.
A little sloppy now.
2 minutes. Turnover. Good pass, Carter. And the 3-point line going into Hiltz. Wrap around. Oh, he gets blocked. Good defensive play.
Good possession. Good recognition by Tracy Carter there. He didn't have anything. Pulled it back out. Waited for Helt to run. Seal his man in the post. And then a drop off. And then the extra pass. That was a great 10 seconds of basketball for us.
I think we're a little bit lucky here. Got a 14-second shot clock. I'm not sure the ball hit the rim. Got blocked. Finished quickly here. Matt Helt underneath. Anim gets fouled and says trip to the line, 2 shots. I'm looking forward to hearing what Coach Vojo has to say after this game.
Yeah, I don't know who we're going to talk to. Let's see what Scott does. He actually starts working for the first time. See what he has in his box of tricks.
But let me remind you again, we have one more game coming to you live from Italy. It's tomorrow, same time. Oh, actually a little bit later, 8 o'clock local time. And correct me if I'm wrong, 1 o'clock local time, Wisconsin.
1 o'clock Central Time.
And that game will be against Vicenza Select, a group of Italian players put together. So that's going to be very interesting. That can be...
We'll rely on our local Italian expert, Travis Diener, to give us some type of scouting report on those guys.
Kurtinitis with a 3. Looks like he ran a little bit out of energy, running low on fuel. A 29-year-old Lithuanian son of former big star and Olympic gold winner Rimas Kurtinitis, and now actually currently head coach of Khimki in Russia, one of the big teams.
Good job by Matt Helt following the play again. Being big, being around the basket.
Nice bounce pass, 2 points. 84 to 102. Carter under pressure, full court, no trouble. Give him a little shake, uses his body. Oh, turns it over, got careless. Uh-oh, there we see it. The high jumper stamping the ball to the backboard. We've seen the little brother, throwing it down one-handed. And now we see Big Brother stamping it to the backboard.
Big Brother has a very long and likely successful high jump career ahead of him. I think he almost at times slows down to trail the play just for the opportunity to jump. Pin a basketball up there in a place that most people can't. Just tremendous athlete.
Because of team fouls or 2 shots. We're in the last minute of play of regulation. 40 seconds left. 102-85. 29 points from rookie sensation Henry Ellenson. Or freshman sensation, I should say. Hilt spins around.
Good move. A lot of contact there. Good move by the freshman. Playing with a lot of aggression and confidence. Hustling back, making a play on defense.
But needs to stay strong, though, as he's turning around.
Yeah, he did a good job there. He took a lot of contact. But, again, you like his aggression. You like one dribble going to the basket, not away from the basket. That's exactly what you want to see him do. He's been on the offensive glass twice. And back there, sprinting back in transition, recovering, and helping his teammates out by knocking the ball out of bounds.
Good defense.
Yeah, really good defense getting over the top of the screen there.
They can switch in that screen a couple of times in the game. Well, actually, mostly in the game. Here we go into the last offensive session. It looks like Tracy Carter just drilled the timeout. He will. Final score is 102-85 and 29 points for Henry Ellenson. Great game.
Yeah, outstanding. Again, I thought offensively, as Steve suggested, we were really good again, trusting the offense, playing inside out, and then defensively, like we talked about before the game. When I talked to him before the game, I thought we were better in stretches defensively, and it showed at the times that we stretched the lead out. I know there's that period of time at the end of the third quarter where it was an 8-point lead, and we took it to, I think it was 11 or 12 or 13, whatever it was, but it was as a result of 2 stops and a really good possession defensively that resulted in a tough shot make. So I think he's getting our guys to understand that ultimately it's going to be defense that leads us to where we want to go, and the more that we can be sound and solid defensively and play together as a team, and 5 guys guarding the ball, not one, it's going to lead to good things for us. We don't have stats available to us, but I'd say created a bunch of opportunities, certainly a number of steals, and those steals lead to transition. And I think you see whether it's Dwayne or Henry, Juwan, Sandy, Luke Fisher, in the way that he can run the floor. We can be an absolutely deadly team in transition if we can get there. Sent Thomas to the floor now, hopefully to get a post-game interview with a player or coach, ceremonial photo that you see on the court. That's a huge part of these trips too. It's, both teams want to win. They're going to compete as hard as they can for 40 minutes when they're out there, but then ultimately when the game ends, it's going to be about sportsmanship and integrity and a mutual respect for the opportunity, one, to compete, and then compete in the right way and show your opponents that type of respect. We'll throw it down to Thomas with Coach Wojciechowski right now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Coach. 102-85, a great win, but it was a game of momentum. It was a game of spirit. It was going up and down. You had a great start compared to the other game against Hawker. You came out better this game. Why do you think that?
Well, I thought we had some game legs under us. In the first game, it's the first time we've ever played together. And after a lot of travel, I thought we were a little sluggish. I thought we had our game legs underneath them. Obviously, we had a lot of respect for this team. And I thought our guys really did well in spurts. We were a little bit immature in that once we got a double-figure lead, we let up and we stopped playing the right way. But fortunately, we were in that position.
What do you tell them at halftime on a game like that? Because the first quarter was so great. I mean, you came out, you played like you've been playing together for a longer period of time than you did in the first game. And then the second quarter, you let up, as you said.
Yeah, to be an outstanding team, you got to play for 40 minutes. And, we have a lot of new faces, a lot of guys who've never been in these types of game situations. And, the tendency is when you do get a double-figure lead or things are clicking, that you don't pay attention to detail. And that always comes back to bite you.
The freshman, Henry Ellenson, had 29 points. He had 24 the other day and 29 tonight. To me, he played, obviously he scored more points tonight, but he played way better. The shot selection, what he did, defensively, rebounding, what do you think?
I think Henry will continue to get better and better. You know, the sky's the limit for him as a player. I think he's an excellent teammate. The thing I love about Henry is he wants to be coached. You know, you can get after him. And, you know, he's obviously a terrific player, and our guys did a good job of delivering him the ball in situations he could score, too.
Coach Wojo, last thing. You tried some stuff. This is the first time some of these guys are in Europe. Now 2 games against some pro teams. Now you're facing a back-to-back. Tomorrow night you're going to get ready for another game. Is that good for you, or would you rather have had a day of practice and then getting ready for that next game?
No, these guys are, you know, we have so many young guys that are used to playing 3 and 4 games a day in Las Vegas. So back-to-back shouldn't be too hard for them.
Congrats, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
All right, great, thanks.
And that's it. That's it from here, from the Monte Catazzini tournament. It's Thomas Bildet and Matt Broger. We'll, of course, say, Coach, congratulations. He had his birthday over here, and I don't know if we congratulated him after that first game, but now, a year older, the team a year older, and with 7 new freshmen in there, they're 2-0 on the Italian tour. We're back again with more tomorrow, same time. It's 8 o'clock local time, and it's going to be against the Vicenza Select. Thank you, and see you soon.